come on over to your mat. We'll start, have your heels under your knees. Knees are under your hips. As always, belly buttons into your spine. Check where your feet are pointing. Make sure they're both pointing in sort of the same direction. And we're going to soften your knees a little bit. Pull your belly button in and peel all the way down to touch to your toes. Let your hands feel heavy, head feel heavy. Really take your time through this. Try stabilizing through your legs so you're not moving too much. You're just melting down to the ground. Now go as low as you can comfortably. Once you get there, as low as you can go, we're just going to swing your arms back and forth. Sort of up and down, alternating. And then we're going to swing side to side. So you're just kind of hovering up so you have space to swing your arms. And you can freestyle this. You can kind of swirl around. Just think about loosening up in the shoulders. And while you're doing this, you might notice that your tummy's tightening up a little bit to stabilize. The rest of your body isn't moving, just moving through the shoulders. Now we're going to grab your elbows, still heavy through your head, arms, all that, and then we'll sway side to side. Now we're going to lock in through the hips to the heels and just bring your weight all the way off to the right. Big stretch through that left side, and then bring your weight all the way off to the left. Big stretch to the right. So I'm just bringing my head up to the side and then to the other side. So you're stretching from your, sort of from the sacrum up the side. And then we'll let go of your elbows, tuck your tailbone and come all the way back up. Shoulders back, chest is open. Bend your knees as much as you need to and bring your hands down to the ground. We're going to straighten out your right leg and then soften it, and then straighten out your left leg. I'm going to ease into this, so we're not twisting it. Just glue your hands to the ground, and we're straightening one leg, and then straightening the other leg. Now, as this is getting a bit easier, you can think about straightening out your right leg. Now, push your right, sort of top space of your bum, sit bone, up to the wall behind you, and then change. Just trying to really push into that, really straightening out. Trying to stretch that hip up and away. And now if you want to take this a bit deeper, you can straighten out the right leg, push that hip away, and then reach your right hand as far away as you can, maybe off to the left side. Then you're stretching all the way the back of the leg, hip, all the way down to your fingers. And we'll go to the other side. So straighten out your left, reach your left hand as far away and over to the right as you can. And just keep alternating that. You can move with it a bit quicker, or you can hold if it feels like you really want to hold in the stretch. So just listen to how your body is feeling with this. I guess if your body's telling you to move out of it quickly, maybe you should hold it a bit longer. Just remember to breathe. It should feel like it's getting a bit easier. And now we're going to change it. Now we're going to go into your twist. So we're going to straighten out that right leg, reach your right hand up to the ceiling, look to your fingers, and then back to the ground. And then the left leg straight, left hand reach, big stretch up. Remember that you're stretching, you're pointing from the sternum, so you're not collapsing in the shoulder, you're just reaching right up to the ceiling. And trying to open your chest up to the ceiling. And you are breathing. And we're just kind of combining all the stuff that we've been doing from the start of this session, and we're just adding into it. So you're still continuing that, pushing your hip up behind you, still straightening out the leg as much as you can. And now we're going to add another step to it. So all of those things, reach your hand up and then stretch your hand up to your ear and then back. So you're doing like a wave as you reach. So open chest, big wave, stretch up and change. And if you, keep going with this, if you are feeling like you need to stand up at any point, please stand up and just shake all the blood out of your brain. We're going to do one more on the other side. And back to center. Walk yourself all the way forwards. Drop your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. belly buttons in. We're going to start with your cat-cow. So you can arch your back up, angry cat stretch. Drop your tummy down, open sit bones, open chest. And you remember your hand position. So you can turn your fingers out, point your thumbs forwards if that feels like you're getting more movement in the shoulders. Or you can keep your fingers forwards, whichever works. Just knowing, I think it's a nice thing to know that adjusting where your fingers are pointing will adjust where your shoulder is moving. You can think about making this a bit stronger if you like. So you can imagine you're wrapping around a beach ball, or you can just flow with the breath. I'm going to hold in the center, belly buttons in. We're going to go into little shoulder press-ups. Stable through the arms, so don't bend your elbows with this. Drop your chest down, shoulders squeeze together. Push your chest up, shoulders apart. So you might find if you are really tight in your shoulders, this is more of an idea than an actual movement. But it's just shoulder blades squeezed together and then shoulder blades apart. You can imagine you've got a pencil in between your shoulder blades and you're squeezing the pencil with your shoulder blades. It's tempting to have your back drop. Just try to keep it held stable. You can use your tummy muscles to stabilize in the spine. Now we're going to go into little circles. It's not going to be perfect. Just kind of move around, circling the shoulders, but keeping that tension of the hands on the mat. And you can reverse. And then we'll hold in the center again. We're going to keep your hips high. If this stretch feels too intense, you can sit back to your heels. We're going to stretch your right hand out in front of you, bend your left elbow and drop your chest down to the floor. Now I'm stretching right out in front of me for this first one. The higher your hips, the deeper the stretch. And we'll come all the way back up and we're going to change to the other hand. So stretch right out in front, bow your chest down, keep your hips high to deepen the stretch. And I'm kind of holding for a breath. But you're welcome to keep moving at my pace, or just moving with the breath, or you can hold it if it feels really useful. And when I'm alternating sides, I'm kind of resisting the bending my elbow and straightening my elbow of the other hand. So I'm still working my arms. My arms are getting a good workout because I'm doing a bit of a little soften, bow down, and then resist the push back up to change. Now for the next one, we're going to change where you're reaching. So instead of reaching right out in front of you, you're just going to reach off slightly to the side. And, feel around where you're reaching. If it doesn't feel like you're getting anything from it, try changing the position. If it feels kind of like shockingly intense, that's probably where you need to be, but just be really gentle with it. And remember to breathe. I'm going to change my position again. I'm going to go off to the side a bit more. But because of this new position, I'm just going to have to bend my elbow off to the side a little bit. So I'm just changing my hand position slightly. And I'm dropping right down. And push back up. And then to the other side. So if you resist this arm bending and straightening, you're getting a little extra tricep work going. Again, just listen to how your body's feeling. If it feels like you want to hold the stretch a bit longer, stay in it a bit. I'm going to come out of that, push all the way back into child's pose. Bring your hands nice and wide. Stretch them out as far as you can and sit heavy onto your heels. You can kind of move off to the right, move off to the left. Gently sway side to side. And take a deep breath in. We're going to bend your elbows, bring the palms of your hands onto your shoulders and drop your chest right down. And again, you can move side to side with that. And we'll stretch your hands back out. And we're going to come up to kneeling. If you have the ball, throw it between your legs. If you don't have the ball, don't worry about it. I'm going to squeeze the ball nice and tight. Tuck your tailbone. So you've got that, so you're not there, you're pulled in. Squeeze the ball really tight. Hands are next to the sides. We're going to push your hands back, squeeze like you're pushing up against a wall behind you, and then relax, float forwards. And squeeze, push, and relax. So to add to the next level, you can think about squeezing the ball as tight as you can as you're pushing your hands back. Tense your tummy, and then relax. So you're squeezing the ball, tensing your tummy, pushing the wall behind you, and then back. Now see if you can make this smaller. So I'm going to go from my sides, just past my bum, really pushing, squeezing those shoulders down, create that tension, and then relax. And again, squeeze, shoulder blades squeezing together, and relax. So squeeze the ball as tight as you can. While you're doing this, you're squeezing your ribs down, belly buttons in. Imagine that's like somebody's about to punch you in the stomach, so your stomach is tensed up for that impact. Everything is working. Now pinch your heels together. So we're adding another level to it. If at any point that the levels that I'm adding to it don't feel right, just go back to the level that feels useful. So I'm squeezing the ball, pushing my hands back, tensing the tummy, and then relax. And again, squeeze. You'll feel like everything's working, obviously, your entire body, but you're really working the hamstrings into like the sit bones as you squeeze your heels and squeeze the ball. Same move, this time open your palms and squeeze again. Now it's more tempting to let your rib cage open, but just try to keep the rib cage held down, really strong. And I'm breathing in as I push back, breathing out to float forwards. I'm going to do 5 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Give a little shake out. Keep the ball between your knees. I'm just going to shuffle back a bit. Bring your hands forwards. Make that lovely diamond shape with your hands. It's kind of under your chest. So you're in a kneeling plank position. Squeeze the ball tight. I might move my hands up a little bit higher. Just kind of, you can always adjust. Try the move and then adjust. Drop your hips down. Tuck your tailbone. Tense your tummy. So you're squeezing your bum. You're squeezing the ball. And then let's just soften your elbows a tiny bit and then straighten them out. This is not a press up. It's totally a press up. It's not a press up. So just think about the soft arms and then the straight arms. And now that we've got this move going, I want you to change how much you're bending your elbows and see how your body responds to it. So we're just soften a tiny bit, like just there, hold for a second, and then push them back straight. And again, soften a tiny bit, and then push back straight. So make it as small as you can and see how you go. If you want, you can make it a bit bigger. See how that goes? Just go as slow as you can. We'll do 10. Choose how much you want to bend your elbows. It's up to you. We'll do 9, 8, 7, 6. Nice and tiny. Remember not to drop your lower back. Keep your tailbone tucked. Keep your bum strong. You guys look great. I've stopped counting. Let's just do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push back into child's pose. Nice work. Stretch those arms out. And then come up out of that. We're going to go into mermaid. I'm just going to focus on the shoulders, and then we'll probably finish nice and strong with some horrible stomach work. Have the ball next to the side. If you don't have the ball, you can just use your hand to sort of push away, but I think the ball is best. Mirror my legs. So I've got, you're going to have your left leg next to the side, right foot's onto your inner thigh. Ball is in your right hand. You're going to roll the ball away, stretch your left hand up, rainbow. Push it as far as you can. You'll notice this hip starts to want to lift. Try to keep it heavy to the floor. Big stretch, reach as far away as you can, and then come back in. Perfect. Let's do 5. Go as slow and strong as you can. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Excellent. Let's flip to the other side. We'll do it again. So same position, same leg, same all of it. And we're going to roll the ball away. Take your time and stretch up. Keep that hip really heavy to the floor. Big stretch. Hold for a second and then come out of it. And again, 5. You're breathing with it. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Excellent. Throw the ball off to the side. I personally have noticed my hips have started to seize up, so we're just going to throw in this stretch just for me personally. Bring your leg across. Opposite hand comes across. Pull your knee into your chest, lift your back, and twist over your shoulder. That's helped. Pull that knee in as close as you can. Push your hip down through the floor and twist as much as you feel like you want to. Gonna go with it. And come out of that. Flip to the other leg. Balance it all out. Pull your knee in. Lift your back. Opposite hands holding your knee. You're going to twist over your shoulder. So this is a really good example of all the Pilates knowledge that you guys have now from doing it for so long. You can just listen to your body and think, where do I need this? And then just do the stretch and do the move that you feel like your body's asking for. That's what I'm doing now. Right, come out of that. You still have the ball. Let's just really wedge it right onto that lower back. If you don't have the ball, don't worry about it. Have your feet kind of hip width apart, so everything's held kind of apart there. Hands are down. We're going to squash the ball and then not squash the ball, or squash the ball less. Squash the ball and then back up. So I'm trying to keep, I could in theory have like a glass of water balancing on my head. You're just using that scoop, 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 squeeze the ball and then up. So I'm going to keep this level going, keep this, and we're just going to build on it. So again, if you've hit a level that feels like you want to stop there, just stay doing what feels good. So now we're going to squash the ball, tense your tummy, bring your hands up. But now my hands are lifting, my ribs are pulling right down. I'm keeping that tension there. And then hands down, and then don't squash the ball. So create that tension, pull those ribs down, really, really strong scoop. Hands float up, don't let your ribs lift, and then back up. So the hand lift is less of a priority than the ribs pulling down. If you feel like your ribs are lifting for your hands to lift, don't lift your hands so high. We're going to do one more and then I'm going to change it again. Now for the next one, we're going to alternate the leg lift. And again, if lifting the leg doesn't feel right, take a break, don't do it. Squash. I'm going to lift both my hands and my right leg up and then down, and then don't squash the ball. And then again, squash the ball, hands lift, left leg lifts, and back. Just breathing in, floating. It should feel like really strong and intense, but it should look quite graceful and easy. We'll do last one. Excellent. Take your hands, paint them up, rainbow up next to you, and then back behind you. Perfect. Nice open collarbones. Still squash the ball. Everything's strong. This is actually really, really challenging. We're just going to lift one leg up and then down, and then the next leg lift and down. So that's the move. Squash the ball as tight as you can, like you're trying to pop it, but you're using your abdominal muscles to pop the ball. Keep those hands just supporting your back, so you're reaching up behind you. Open collarbones. And now we're going to start reaching to your opposite knee. So I'm going to lift my right leg, take my left hand, rainbow it up, tap to the inside of my left leg, rainbow it back, and then change to the other side. And just alternate. While you're doing all of this, you are still squashing the ball. Trying to make it as slow and smooth, as strong as possible. And last one. And then back. Drop your feet down. This is where it gets just shockingly horrible. Tense your tummy, squash the ball, take your hands behind your head. Keep those elbows open. Pull the ribs down, use your belly button, squash the ball really, really, really tight. We're going to gently twist to one side, look over your shoulder like somebody stood behind you, and then back to center. And then to the other side. You're just kind of looking over your elbow, look past your elbow. Remember that you're still squashing the ball, that's the priority. The twist might need to be a little bit tinier. See if you can really stabilize through your sit bones, through the knees. Make sure your knees aren't moving. If you're happy doing this, you can keep doing this. If you're not happy, just stop, reach forwards, touch to your toes. I'm going to add the next horrible level to it. We're going to twist and then drop back a couple inches. Oh my God, it's horrible. And then twist to the other side. Drop back a couple inches. Just choose how much you want to do, like how big you want to make this. And do last one. And now let's take your hands, stretch forwards, reach to your toes, and relax out of that. Just let your head, let your chest melt onto your legs. Take a super deep breath into the back of your rib cage. We'll come up from that. Let's throw the ball off to the side and roll onto your side. Make a little pillow with your bottom arm and sort of like lace your fingers behind your head. Elbows are on the side of your head. Knees are stacked, belly buttons in. You're going to keep that bottom elbow where it is and you're going to twist open. Don't let your knees shift, don't let your hips move, and then we'll close. And open and close. So you'll notice your body's trying to, like from the rib cage down, wants to move to make the twist bigger, Don't let that space move. Keep that space really held where it is. Working that upper back just between the shoulder blades. Last one of these. And then back down. But keep your bottom hand like a pillow. Take your top hand out, and we're going to do a big windmill arm. Now, ideally, you want this to be a circle, but chances are there's going to be spaces in that shoulder that are stuck, so it's going to be more of like an octagon or a weird triangle. Those spaces that are catching, that are making the circle not smooth, just go really slowly over them. And you don't need to complete the circle, you can kind of hold those spaces and just move up and down, whatever works. And you can reverse your circle. Think about really opening your palm as well, so then you get that tendon stretch. Really stretch, big long fingers, open hands. Also, remember that your belly button is pulled into your spine. We forgot about our tummy, so it might have just like fallen on the floor. Just pull it right back up and in. And finish that circle. And then we're going to flip to the other side and do it again. So same again, we'll lace your fingers behind your head. Belly button's in. And we'll open that top elbow. Keep from the rib cage down, really held tight, and close. I'm going to do 5 of these. I'm just breathing with it. So I'm kind of breathing in to open and breathing out to close. There's no right or wrong way. Just make sure you're not holding your breath. And do 1 more. And we'll keep that bottom pillow, take that top hand out, and let's circle around again. Just use the first couple circles to sort of scan what's grabbing your attention. Slow down through those spaces that are stuck. Also, keep your rib cage held. So you're using that core strength. Make sure you're not like moving through the chest at all, backwards and forwards. You want to really lock everything, that's like everything from here down. Just make sure it's just the arm circling around. You are still breathing. And we're going to reverse. Or I'm going to reverse. You can just listen to what your shoulder is asking for. It might be that you want to focus on one spot, you don't want to reverse. But do please keep breathing. We'll do 2 more. We'll just stretch out your fingers, really open your hand. And let's finish that one. I'm going to roll forwards onto your tummy, and we're going to do a few cobras. I'm probably going to do 5, but just go at this pace that works for you. Now have your hands under your shoulders. Roll your nose away, chin away, pull your shoulders back, push your chest up. I'm going to stop right here. Take a deep breath in, and then melt back down. With the next one, I'm going to go a little bit higher. Just ease into this, especially if you did take a bit of time off last week. Just go really steady through these. Extensions through the spine like this cobra are a little bit more dangerous. Just breathe with it. I'm going to do 2 more. Remember that if you go up too fast, too high, it collapses in the most vulnerable spot in your back. So you're going to be really gentle with it. And do 1 more. And all the way back down. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Curl your toes under. You're going to push up into a plank. 1, 2, 3, push up. And we're going to hold for 10. Tuck your tailbone. Make sure your bum isn't too high, your back isn't dropping. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And walk your hands back to your toes. And come all the way up to standing. Shoulders back, chest is open, deep breath in. Roll down and touch to your toes. And all the way back up. And you guys are done. Excellent work. Nice to see you guys.